Okay. So can everybody see the PowerPoint from there? Okay, so
Yes po.
don't worry, if you cannot see it because this will be posted as well after our lecture. Okay, so for today, we will still be talking about the fundamentals of MATLAB, but this time we're now going to have a different problem, and that is the butterfly curve problem. Okay, so ang goal natin dito specifically is yung command na plot together with complex mathematical operations. So we will be using or we will witness in firsthand the problems that we're going to face whenever we are dealing with complex equations and complex operations. So when are we going to use the dot? When are we going to put dots on our operations? So things like that. So mawitness natin yan dito. Okay? So here's the problem. Okay? And if you want to tag along, no, walang problema yan. And if you have questions along the way, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so the butterfly curve is given by the following parametric equations. So we have here for both x and y as a function of time. So yung x natin is a sine of t multiplied by the Euler's number raised to a cosine of t minus 2 times cosine of 40 minus sine to the fifth power of 10 over 12. So meaning yung dalawang equation na to is sensitive sa ating they are time sensitive, no, as what as a function of time is telling us. So meaning if yung ano lang yung variable na kailangan dito is yung time only. Okay, as long as I have time, I can solve for x and y. So however, the curve can also be represented in polar coordinates such as r. So this is in polar coordinates. Okay, so as long as I know r and theta, I can plot all of the points of this butterfly curve in polar coordinates. So kahit ako, wala rin akong idea kung ano itsura niyan, pero according to the overview, it's a butterfly. So we'll see later. Okay, so the curve can also be represented in polar coordinates like so. Okay, so let us pause for a moment, and try to strategize something. So kung gusto nyong sumunod, gusto nyong itry sa ADI, why not? Okay, but if you want to write this down, which I will, kasi this would be a very hassle one to pabalik-balik tayo ng slides. Okay, so I will pause for a moment and then just write these equations on a piece of paper. So this is a good thing to do. Kahit na computer concepts tayo, it is a good idea sometimes to write your codes or the formulas that we're going to use on a separate piece of paper. So, there we go. Give me a moment. I encourage you to do this as well. Okay, so kung nandyan rin lang naman kayo sa ADI or sa Octave, I think hassle sa ADI. So kung nasa Octave Online din lang naman kayo, no? So just split your window into two. Nasa kabila yung ating Meet, nasa kabila yung ating Octave Online. You can single-handedly do that by pressing your Windows key on your keyboard and pressing the left or right arrow. Okay, so x is equal to sine t multiplied by e raised to cosine t minus 2 cosine 40 minus sine fifth multiplied by t over 12. Okay, y is equal to cosine of t multiplied by e cosine t minus 2 cosine 4t minus sine to the fifth t over 12. So this is for parametric. So pag sinabing parametric, these are under the Cartesian plane coordinate. Yeah, parametric coordinates. And then we have r. Oops. r. r equals e sine theta minus 2 cosine 4 theta minus sine to the fifth sine to the fifth 2 pi minus pi all over 24. Okay, so I think we're all set. Okay, so here is the required or here is the requirement of the problem. So given this equation, so wala tayong questions dyan so far. Okay, so if you have any questions, huwag kayong mihiya. Ano po? So, yung requirement ng problem is the following. So, for parametric equations, generate values for x and y as a function of time. So, from 0 to 100 with t. Okay, so, from last time, sabi daw is gawa daw tayo ng plot for x as a function of time and y as a function of time wherein yung value ng time is from 0 to 100, not 100 entries ha. From 0 to 100 with delta t as 1 over 16. Okay, so ang mangyayari dyan is yung una is 0 and then sunod is 1 over 16 and then add another 1 over 16 hanggang makarating ka sa 100. Okay, so that's as simple as yung column natin na notation. So just mamaya na siguro yan. Okay? So construct daw tayo ng plot of x and y versus t. So x and y is a function of t. So ang mangyayari is x comma t and y comma t. Then next is we have to plot y versus x. So iba rin to. Use subplot to stack these plots vertically. Okay. Next, number 3 is make the plot in number 2 square. Okay, so this is not b. Maybe I could edit that. So this is number 2. Yan. Sorry about that. So gawin daw natin yung plot square. Okay, so pwede natin tignan yan sa module. Okay, kasi nandun yan. The next, include titles and access labels on both plots and a legend for number 1. And for number 1, employed a dotted line for y in order to distinguish it from x. So this is item number 1. So this is item number 1. Don't get confused. Okay, so balik tayo. So ang kailangan daw is, so number 1, very straightforward, x comma t and y comma t. And then yung number 2, kailangan ng x comma y. Okay, and we're going to use subplot. Okay, so meaning ito nasa iisang graph. So nasa iisang plot siya. So this is one plot. One plot with two curves. two curves. So that is yung ating x with t, and then yung ating y, comma, t. Okay, I hope I made sense. Okay, and then next, we are going to make another plot that is just beside number 1. But this time, ang plot niya is with respect to y, okay, versus x. And maybe pwede natin din i-try yung y, x. So, kasi sabi niya is y versus x. So, baka y, x sa plot. Alright, so we're going to use subplot. So, di ba sa subplot natin, ang itsura niyan is, if this is the window of your figure, okay, andito yung ating number 1. Andito yung number 1 na figure. Andito rin yung number, oops, maybe I could, eraser. Okay, maybe I could improve this. So, pen. Connect pa ba ako? Okay, so, say for example, this is the window. Like so. So this is 1. And this is 2. And then, yung itsura niyan is, meron parang isang curve. And then, may another 1. And then, dun din sa number 2, may iba rin. Okay, so yan, hindi yan yung, yung answer dun sa Okay, just a graphical representation. Okay, so that is the subplot. So this is from your subplot. Subplot. Okay. And then next, make the plot in number 2. Or I think lahat naman, hindi, yung plot lang sa number 2 square. So this is a square. This is a must. So square. Square. And then number 4 is yung label for, yung label natin for both plots and a legend for number 1. So dapat may legend yung number 1. And parehas may axis labels. Okay, so mamaya pwede natin pagtrabahuhan yan. Okay? Okay, so maybe I just continue. Okay, so continue tayo. Okay, so for polar equations naman, yun yung requirement natin for parametric. Next naman is meron naman tayong for polar equations. So sabi daw is generate values for r with values of theta from 0 to 8 pi. Okay, with delta theta equals pi over 32. Okay, so linspace lang yan or column notation if you prefer. Okay, so we are going to use MATLAB function for polar to generate the polar plot of the butterfly curve with a dashed red line. So employ MATLAB help to understand how to generate the plot. Okay, so we're going to use polar here. Polar. And then it should be, I think pag sinabing polar, it's plotted on a circular coordinate system. I'm still not certain. So, yeah. So, siguro start na tayo. Proceed na tayo dun sa MATLAB kung wala tayong questions. So, before that, okay, so kailangan, di ba, according to my video, bago tayo pumunta ng MATLAB, we need to strategize things first. Ano ba yung magiging play natin dito? Okay. So, let us try to analyze first the equations that we have on the problem. So we just go back here. Okay. So let us try to determine first the variables that we need to declare. Okay. So this doon muna tayo sa parametric kasi mas mahirap. Okay, kasi mas ano siya, it needs two equations. So in here, so what is the variable? Ano ba yung variable na kailangan nating i-declare bago tayo mag-declare ng formula? Anyone? What is the variable that we need to declare in the parametric equations for x and y to be solved? Take a guess. Ay, wala. Tinulugan na ako. Sige. Wala kayo dyan. Or, sige. So, variable to declare. Paano pala kung dito naka-record? Tandaan nyo, hindi multiple choice ang exam ko, ha? Ang exam ko, open notes yan, pero sobrang hirap niyan, ha? Kaya kung nagtutulog-tulog tayo, okay. Okay, so variable.
Nadadog po ako, sir.
Okay. So, variable natin to declare is t, and that is sufficient enough to solve both x and y. Okay, so paano natin i-solve or paano natin i-declare ang t in MATLAB? So maybe we could erase this. Okay. So sabi daw ang sabi daw ni MATLAB is ang sabi ng problem is kailangan daw nating i-declare yung t from 0 to 100 with 1/16. Okay, so balik tayo. So t is from 0 to 100. So 0 to 100 could be days, hours, seconds, minutes, ano? But 0 to 100. And then the interval or delta t, delta t natin is 1/16. So, in here, pwede na nating rektahin siguro na column notation or pwede rin naman natin gawin na linspace. But the hassle from linspace is hindi natin alam kung ilan ang entries. Since binigyan tayo ni MATLAB ng problem ng interval, we can just freely use the column notation. That is given by t is equal to 0 colon the interval, which is 1/16 colon 100. Okay, so that is our equation. Okay, so the good thing about this is sa column notation, ang hinihingi niya is yung interval or yung delta t. Whereas pag linspace, hinihingi niya yung number of entries. Okay, so this is pretty neat.
Sir, paano pag nagtaong interval?
Pag nagtaong interval, and sabing is yung time is from 0 to 100. Okay, so say in column notation. So pag column notation, and you declare t is equal to 0 to 100, the entries or yung entries magiging evenly spaced siya. So meaning by one entry or by one, by one. Okay, so meaning yung 0 to 100, pag dineclare mo yan, ang magiging response ni MATLAB is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on until you approach 100. Whereas for, or maybe para mas maintindihan natin, I could give another example. So, erase natin to. Okay, maybe I could give a problem with a decimal. Okay. Say from zero, oh no. Yeah. I know. I know now. So, erase natin to. Sabi daw is, mag-declare daw tayo from negative pi to pi. Ayan. So, under colon operation, without any interval without any interval, ang mangyayari, ang response ni MATLAB is like so. So, negative 3.14 followed by negative 2.14. Always plus 1. Then, negative 1.14. Okay. And then, until makapunta siya sa positive 3.14. It's negative 3.14, negative 2.14, negative 1.14, negative 0.4, 0.4, negative 0.14, 0. Then we have, no, not 0. Negative 0.14, and then we have plus 1, and then plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, until maka-reach tayo sa negative 3.14. Whereas, pag lin space naman yung negative pi to pi, ang mangyayari is, gagawa niya ng 100 entries no matter what. So, kung ilan yung magawa niya from those set, as long as 100, gagawin niya. Okay, so if this was not given, if this delta t was not given, now we can just freely use yung ating lin space. But since merong binigay siya, so let us not pwede na natin gamitin yung colon. Either way, parehas naman yan convenient gamitin. So, iba-iba lang yung use. Okay? And next, okay, so okay na yung pag-declare natin ng time. We can also do that for our polar coordinate. So, yung kailangan natin for polar coordinate is yung theta. And yung requirement is from 0 to 8 pi. 8 pi with a gap of, with an interval of 8 over 32. So, interval natin or delta theta is equal to, kalimutan ko agad. That is pi over 32. Pi over 32. Feel ko natatakpan na ata tong side na to. Let me just check. Hindi naman. Alright. Okay, that is pi over 32. So, pwede na natin yan on our theta. Therefore, our theta is equal to, or in MATLAB, kasi hindi tayo pwedeng makapag-insert ng ganitong symbol. So, erase natin yan. And then, we could declare theta is equal to 0. And then next is pi over 32. Pi over 32. And then 8 pi. Okay? So, ayan. And then, so, alam na natin yung i-declare natin. Now, what would be our computation strategy here? Okay, so dito muna tayo sa parametric. So, as you can see, parang masyado ng cluttered yata yung, hindi naman. Okay, so as you can see, if you want to take a look on this side, like so, they share the same the same term, right? No, yung x natin is multiplied by sine t, and then yung term na mahaba, and then yung y, but the difference is yung sa y is cosine, then multiplied by that term. So baka pwede naman siguro natin gawin na i-declare natin to on a different variable, like say the long term, ganun. Pwede natin pangalanan ng ganun, or the butterfly constant. So pwede natin gawin yan. Pwede natin tong ipangalanan na butterfly. Butterfly. Okay? So butterfly is equal to e cosine t raised to cosine t, and so on. And then, ang mangyayari niyan, pag tinype natin yan sa MATLAB, ang mangyayari is e is equal to sine t multiplied by butterfly. Instead na you need to type it entirely. So we just need to declare it on a single variable and let it be declared onto your x and y para hindi medyo cluttered tignan. Okay? So that is our second strategy. So maybe I could put this here sa ating open board. Oops. Aking. So dito tayo sa open board. Okay, let me just open the programs that I need. Okay. So, ayan. So, here we are, an open board. So, ang kailangan natin is mag-strategize na. Oops. Okay. What's the font? Okay natin para makita. Okay, so strategy. Hindi kita. Okay, pa natin mga 48. Yeah, that's better. Strategy natin is declare. This is for parametric. For parametric. Number one is declare. Declare t from declare t from 0 to 100. Okay lang, engineer ko ba? Okay lang. Wag nila pilitin kasi alam kong ano na sila eh, medyo hirap na rin sila sa internet connection. So don't force it. No, kasi after all naka-record naman to, even yung sa YouTube naka-record na din. So pwede na nilang panoorin 'yon. Okay, so from 0 to 100 with delta t. So delta t, which is equal to 1 over 16. So that is, in our code, type natin is t equals 0, 1 over 16, pwede yan, and colon 100. That alone can satisfy this strategy. So that is number one. Number two is declare, or pwede na natin siguro solve for the complex term. Yan yung tawag ko minsan, yung complex term. Solve the complex term. Declare as butterfly. So here, ang code natin would be, would look something like this one. So butterfly is equal to, so pwede na natin dito i-type. Okay? I think, ito experimental lang to. So, exponent raised to the cosine of t. Pero yan, cosine of t minus, so huwag tayong mahihiyang huwag tayong mahihiya sa paggamit ng ating parentheses because one group of parentheses makes a difference, a huge difference. 2 times the cosine of 4 times t. Close it again. Minus, maybe I can now reduce this a little bit. So that is 36. All right. Okay, so minus 40, 2 cosine 4 times t. And then, ito yung mahirap, no? Because this is sine to the fifth. So, kaya to. I think we can just raise it bago muna tayo, or maybe it's just the same as raising it to the fifth. Maybe I could try this using my calculator. Sine, na-raise ba to? Hindi. Maybe I could raise the entire answer to t over 12. So 1 over 12. And then power that to the fifth. Iba rin pala siya. Kung i-raise ko lang yung 1 over 12. Huh? They both yield the same answer. Yeah, so pwede rin pala. Okay, so that is sine. Pwede rin natin yan i-close. That is the sine of t over 12. Yeah, t over 12. And then raise the entire thing by 5. And that's it. That is our butterfly. Okay, next. Number 3 naman tayo. Solve for x and y. So in our code, that would be like, so for x, we have x is equal to the sine of t, then multiplied by the butterfly. Okay, or I think this is element-wise. Kasi yung sine of t natin is 1 by 100. You cannot multiply that to another 1 by 100. As you can see here. This is a 1 by 100 operation. I think gawin natin tong element-wise. Pwede rin natin i-try yung kahit hindi. Just to get a feel of what lies ahead. So y is equal to the cosine of t. And element-wise, dot asterisk butterfly. Butterflu. Alright. So that is the two equations. And mas magandang tignan. No? Because nasettle na natin dun sa number 2 yung ating x and y. So that is the values. Number 4 is plot the following. Plot natin yung following. That is yung plot x comma t. And then pwede rin tayong type natin yung hold on. By using hold on, sinesave natin yung una nating dinrowing. Pwede natin isave yan. And then, pwede tayong mag-add ng another plot y comma t. And then, hold on again. Hold on. Ano na? Lagpas na. Pwede ko na sigurong paliitin. 28. Alright, hold on. And then next is plot natin yung y, x. So I think we've done enough for our parametric. So mamaya na siguro yung labeling. Okay, so punta na tayo sa MATLAB. Any questions before we go to MATLAB? Any questions? So yun yung strategy natin. Okay, so it is always a good thing to do in all of the problems that you're going to encounter in MATLAB to strategize first, ano, bago tayo bumanat. Okay? So para medyo may we get our stuff in order. By doing this, konti lang yung problems na ma-encounter natin sa MATLAB or even in Octave and ADI. Okay, so kung wala na, punta na ako sa MATLAB. Oops. Punta sa MATLAB. So here. Okay, so proceed na tayo. Okay, so okay lang kung di nyo makita dyan. This will be recorded this is recorded anyway. So punta tayo ngayon sa ating open board. So strategy number 1 natin is i-declare natin yung t. T is from 0 to 100 with an interval of 1/16. So suppress that because that would be very long. Enter. And as you can see, the size of this is 1/1061. Yeah, boy. Okay, so if you want to check the values, just double click on T and it will display to you the values from 0 to its last table. Okay, I think for ADI, medyo ADI and Octave Online, matagal siya i-process. Okay? So that is for T. Task number 1, check. Task number 1, check. Next is solve for the butterfly. So butterfly is equal to exponent raised to cosine of t. Cosine of t minus 2 times. Always yan ha, pag may multiplication, it is not enough that you just put parentheses in between them. This ain't a calcu. Hindi siya yung katulad ng mga kasyo ha. Hindi niya ina-assume na that these two are operating multiplication. Hindi pwedeng ganon. So kahit meron tayong parentheses dyan, and we know that it is a multiplication, see to it that there's a multiplication in there. Okay? So yun lang yung napansin ko dun sa mga questions niyo sa akin regarding problem number 1. Okay? So next, 2. So open tayo ng parentheses. 2 times the cosine of 40. Cosine of 4 times t. So we are not having any problems yet because this one is a subtraction. So 1/1601 minus 1/1601. So this is minus. So they must have the same m/n. Okay. So very good. Very good here. So minus, open natin ang parentheses. So ayan na, huwag tayong mahihiyang gumamit ng parentheses dito. Walang masasayang. You can spend as much parentheses as you want without losing anything. Okay, so sine of t/12. So t divided by 12. And then square the entire thing. Fifth power, sorry. Okay, we're all good. So press that and enter. Okay, so here's the problem. So inputs must be scalar and a square matrix. So to compute element powers, so use the, okay, so I need to put this in element wise. Oops. So just press the up arrow. Yun. Sorry. Okay. So dot, enter. Ayun. So, na-solve na yung ating butterfly. Any questions on that part? Okay. So silence means none. Okay, and then next, so task number 2 or strategy number 2 complete. We now proceed to solving for x and y. Okay, so x natin is equal to the sine of the sine of t multiplied by butterfly. Butterfly and then close. And pwede na rin natin yung dugtungan dyan sa katabi. Y. Pagka-suppress mo, lagay ka ng second equation. Pwede yan. So, y natin is cosine of t multiplied by butterfly. Press that. Enter. So, yun. Matrix dimensions must agree. Predicted. Lagyan natin ng dot. Lagyan natin ng dot. Okay, so 1 by 1601. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this becomes 1 by 1601 as well. Okay, so strategy number 3 done. And now we are ready to plot this thing. Okay. So, plot tayo. So, plot. So, let's first plot x comma t and hope for the best. Okay, what would be the image of this one? Naka-itsura nito. That's weird. Okay, Leonta. Okay, take a look at this. Is this really a butterfly? Nakikita niya ba dyan? Ah, hindi. Okay. Maybe I could... Ano to? Properties. AutoCAD. Ayun. Kita niyo dyan? This is what I didn't expect. Okay, so maybe baka pwede natin itong ma-modify mamaya. Okay, so that is for... Pwede ko siguro itong... Oops. So, move natin dito sa taas. Or dito na lang siguro sa baba. Ayan. Okay, and then next, hold on. Pwede natin i-hold on yan. Hold on tayo. Hold on. And then use the same for plotting y, comma t. Enter. And this is the other one. Okay. Okay. And then finally, hold on again. To add another one. Naka-hold on pa yan. So, pwede pa siguro yan. Hindi pa natin hino-hold off. Pag hinold off natin yan, final na yung ating plot. So, plot natin yung y versus x. See if this produces different result. Where is it? Oh, ayun. Ayun, yung y comma x. Alright. Okay. Okay. So, ayun, nakikita ko dun sa baba. Kaso, I think we need to transfer this somewhere. Okay, so balik tayo dun sa ating PowerPoint. Okay, where am I? Nawawara na ko. Okay. So, balik tayo dun sa ating requirement, which is somewhere here. Okay, so I'm going to transfer y versus x. So I need to use subplot for this to stack these plots vertically. But for this one, so number one, x and y versus t, we're good. Okay tayo dyan. Ito lang talagang nasa number 2. I should have added a subplot. My bad. Okay, let's OBS of this. So dapat pala yung ginawa natin, hold on and then subplot y comma x. So maybe I could remove this now. Siguro, yeah. Capture. All right. So going back here sa MATLAB or sa open board, nalilito na rin ako. Okay, open board. So dapat nandito y comma x, and then somewhere in here we should make the grid square. So I don't know the exact code yet, but we can always refer to the module as to how to do this. No, yun yung ini-encourage ni MATLAB eh. Na kahit alam natin kung paano i-solve or strategize yung ating ginagawa in MATLAB, no? It is also a good we can also make it a habit to always refer to our references. This is not the 60s whereby dapat lahat ng bagay mini-memorize. Dapat yung alam lang natin is kung saan natin nahanapin yung mga dapat natin gawin. Okay, this is the modern ages. Kahit ako, I still need to look for the equations for the cylinder. Kahit dapat kabisado na dapat yan, but still, in the modern days, everything can be looked up on the internet. Okay, share ko lang. So, balik tayo dito sa MATLAB. So, I think pwede na natin tong i-hold off. Hold off. Ayun. So, pag hinold off natin yan, mawawala yan lahat. Oof. Ayun sa MATLAB. Yan. Hold off. Okay. So, going back, plot comma t. Press plot y comma t. And then next is, hold on. Okay, plot y comma t, and then press. Hindi pa natin kailangang makita yung plot because we already know the result of that. Okay, so lagay lang natin dyan. And then next, baka di nyo kita dyan. Yep, di nyo kita. Okay. Properties. Saan na? Okay. So, ayan yung figure. So, dyan lang yan. And then next is, maybe we could do some help subplot. Plot. Kahit ako nagtuturo na ako ng MATLAB, pwede rin tayong tumingin sa dito. Okay, so, MNP, so if the axis already exists, it makes it current. For P is a vector, specifies the axis position that covers all the subplot listed in P. Okay, so MNP, so pwede ko ilagay yung y, x, and then yung P is something that I don't I forgot where. Maybe I could check the module. Kasi ang alam ko, diniscuss ko to sa module. And that is important. At least yung napipick up natin, yun yung natatandaan natin. You know? Not the syntax itself, but where is it? So COMP216. Where is my module? Yep. This one. Grabe, overloaded na ako. Dangog pa daw. Ayun, dangog pa ako. Alright. Come on, quick. I need to finish this. Magla-lunch na sila. Okay, so for subplot. Okay, so 1 to 1 and 1 to 2. So I think I need to put this in. Ah, yeah. So subplot 1 to 1 and 1 to 2. Alright. Okay. So balik tayo sa MATLAB. So pwede na tayong let me cancel this. Ano to? Pwede ba natin to i-delete? Nope. But I think we can subplot. Yeah, subplot. No, we really need to plot this. Plot x comma t. Then hold on. Plot y comma t. Press. Okay, and finally, subplot. CLC muna tayo. Subplot. Subplot of y comma x. This time it is located at position number 2. I hope that's correct. Matrix dimensions must agree. Yes, I need to transpose. What the hell? Matrix dimensions must agree. That's odd. Was it plotted? No. Maybe I could refer to my module again. Okay, so plot 1 to 1. That is to plot sine and cosine t in the first panel of the graphics window. I think. Oops. Subplot y. Okay, I think I can't add this. TLC again. It was perfect kanina. Bakit hindi na siya nag-a-add? Really started if you cannot use the axis square. Instead, okay, so to add subplot 1 to 1. It's weird. Okay, so first row, second column. Okay. Okay. So for the second plot, so subplot, I need first row, second column at the z-axis. Yep. 1. Tama ba? 1 to 1 is yung plot ng sine, t. Okay. Okay, so pwede ko ilagay dito yung subplot and then pwede ko na siguro i-close yung figure. Subplot of plot natin yung x, t. So meaning, sa plot na yan, sa first row, second column, okay, yung first plot natin is yung x, t. I hope I made it right. Hold on. And then pwede ko nang isunod yung y, t. Yes. Okay, which is good. It's all looking pretty good. You can see it from there. Okay, so ayan, yan yung subplot. Okay, next. Next is subplot. Subplot natin is column number 2. Yeah, number 2. So pag number 2 doon naman sa right side. I-plot naman natin yung y, x. And this time, we're going to make the axis square. Hope that's fine. Ayun. Yan na yung butterfly. Ayun, ganda oh. I'm kind of quite happy with how did this turn out. Okay. So that is ayan yung itsura ng butterfly. So yung yung talagang hindi lang natin na foresee is yung pag-insert natin ng subplot. So we need to see to it that in order for the subplot to work, we need to set the subplot first bago tayo maglagay ng plot. Okay, so as what you can see from the command window, so yung nilagay ko is subplot 1 to 1. So anong nangyari is nasa siya. Yung subplot 1 to 1, nasa may left side siya ng ating figure. And then doon nakaplot yung dalawa. And then doon din kasama yung ating y, t. And then, dun sa y, x, okay, so, nilagay natin muna siya sa subplot 1, 1, 2, 2. So, that means it's located on the right side. And then, plot yx and then set the axis to square. Alright, any questions? So, I'm pretty happy with how the butterfly turned out. I thought this was a scam. Parang baliktad eh. Baliktad ba? I think that's tama lang. Yes po. Okay, wala naman. So next, proceed naman tayo sa ito. So next, proceed naman tayo sa ating So, okay na tayo dyan lahat. So, check natin yung ating PowerPoint. So, okay na tayo dyan. So, yung task natin is to make the plot be in square and include titles and access labels in both plots and a legend for number 1. And employ the dotted line for y in order to distinguish it from x. Okay, that can be done. So, mamaya na lang siguro. Gawin muna natin siguro yung polar. Okay, so that is for our we're pretty much done sa ating parametric equations. So proceed na tayo sa ating polar equations. So yung polar equations natin, we are going to use the function polar to generate the polar plot of the butterfly. So curve with a dashed red line. Employ MATLAB help to understand how to generate the plot. Okay? Understandable? Okay, so punta na tayo sa MATLAB. I'm going to keep the figure because it looks so nice. So here, declare muna natin yung theta. Theta is equal to 0. Gap is pi over 32. Yeah, pi over 32. So pi over 32. Then colon is 8 times pi. 8 times pi. Alright? That is 1 by 257. And then, start na ako. So, r is equal to exponent times the sine of theta, oops, keyboard, okay, minus 2 wag mahiya parentheses, 2 times the cosine of 4 times theta, close that, minus, open parentheses, sine of a, so open ulit, 2 times theta, and the result of that minus pi. Okay, so be generous with your parentheses. Divided by 24. Close that. Close the entire thing. And element twice raised to 5. Okay, I hope it works. Yep. So yung R natin is 1 by 257 din as well. Now the question is, how are we going to plot this using polars? Help plot polar. Help polar. Ayun. So plot theta row. Okay, so makes a plot using coordinates of the angle theta in radians and angle in radians and versus row, radius in row. All right, I think this is doable. So I think we can do this in 1, 2, 3 na lang siguro tayo. Subplot, CLC, subplot of 1, 2, and 3, and then polar theta row. So theta is theta, comma r. Yep. Theta r. Wala na bang ibang kailangan? Should I set this to no? Hindi naman sinabi. Enter. The index exceeds the number of subplots. Okay. 1, 4? On 3? Enter. Let's see. Ayun. Ayun, so mas maganda pala pag naka-polar. Kaso nawala yung ating yan. So maybe it's an improvement, ano? Medyo ano pa ako eh, medyo I'm pretty much yun din kasi yung kahinaan ko yung sa plot. Ano, I only knew a few commands and hindi ko pa kayang ma-manipulate yung plot. So it really needs some practice. But you see na using the polar, no, mas madali pala yung polar kaysa dun sa ating parametric. Okay? So what else? Yung legend naman. Okay, and then after this, ano na tayo? Tapos na tayo. Okay? So let's put some plot in it. Or let's put some label on it. Okay, so pwede ko sigurong i-clear ulit. Kasi alam ko na kung paano. Okay, so clear. Okay, so plot. Subplot muna. Subplot 141 141 and then plot x comma y and then I want to put I want to put some color on it. Aside dun sa ating default na blue, I want dotted no, not dotted lines. So I want dashed, then want to put it on green, like so. Okay, that is dashed green, and then let me put the title of this title. Hold on. Then title natin is X. Yeah, so both X as a function of time. Okay. Now, what's next? Should I put some grid on? Yeah, I should put some grid. Okay. Okay, grid on. Title is x comma t. X is a function of time. So press. Ooh, it's looking pretty good. Ah no, this is x comma y. Sorry, x comma t. Wala, apod na ako kan simbahan. Okay. So yan. So this is what it looks like. Baba natin siguro. Yan. Oh, please bear with me, matatapos na ako. Okay, so next is y comma t. So subplot of 1 comma 4 and then put it at slot number 2. Okay. So plot y comma t This time, I want this dotted. Tama ba? Tama ba yung pagkakagraph ko? Yeah, this is in... Okay, reasonable. So, I want this in orange. Ano ba ang orange sa ano? Paano ang orange? Walang orange. Maybe I could put this in black. So, dot K. Okay. So, naka-hold on pa. So, pwede ko pang iset. Naka-grid on lang. Grid on. Comma, yung title natin is y, comma, y as a function of time. I think this is good enough. So, enter. Did it update? Yep, it did. No, medyo iba-iba ang pinoproduce nilang results. Ano? And that is pretty weird. I think parehas lang yun eh. Naka-hold on kasi dun sa x, comma, y. Maybe I could do some modification. Madali lang to. This will be quick. Wag mawala ng pasensya. Hold off. Hold off. I'm going to remove the figure again. Properties. Okay. Wait lang po. Alright. So let me just do something. So, subplot 2, comma 2. And I want to put it on first entry. Then next is plot x, comma t. X, comma t. With dash, then green. Then hold on. With grid on. And then yung title natin is x as a function of time. I hope that made sense. Alright. So that is for the first. Next is subplot. Subplot 2, comma 2. Second entry. So, plot naman natin yung y as a function of t. This time, I want it dotted. So, dot k, dotted in black. And then grid on. Grid on with title of y as a function of time. There. Did that work? Oh yeah, that worked. Okay, next. Next is yung third plot. So, subplot 2, comma 2, and then yung third one. So, nandun na yung ating plot for y as a function of x. X as a function of y na lang siguro. Para mas maganda. Okay, and I need this to be... Wala kasing pink. Ba't walang pink? Oh, walang pink. Maybe I could go for red. Okay, red. Red and what else? Red. Okay, I think this is good. So red. And then naka-grid on. Grid on. Axis square. And at the same time, my title, which is x is a function of y. Or pwede rin butterfly. Butterfly. Okay. All. Can you press that? Enter. Ayun. Ha. Ganda, no? And finally, let's put some color blue in it in polar coordinates. So subplot 2 comma 2 fourth, and then polar theta comma r. Can I put some styles in it? Maybe. I want it blue. Blue ba? Yep, blue, and I want it dashed. So I want it dashed. May dash na. Maybe I can go for dotted. Yeah, why not? So dotted like so. And then grid on. So title is, so butterfly in, oops. Title is in butterfly and polar. Close and enter. Ayun. So yun guys, I think that would be everything for our lecture. No, pagpasensya niyo na kung medyo naka-cover ako ng 6 minutes sa inyong lunchtime. The code. So I think I will be posting this code. No, I will be posting this PowerPoint at the same time. I will be posting the board. No, I have no way of posting this on the board. So hindi nyo ata nakikita. Hindi nyo nakikita. Ba't di kayo nagsasabi? Ano ba yan? Hindi nyo nakikita yung plot. Ayo halatang di na kayo nakikinig. Sabagay, umay na kasi. Ayan, yan yung itsura ng ating form. Anong plot? Okay, so it takes some practice to understand yung subplot. So, ang hinahanap niya kasi is m by n. So, ilang rows ba? Okay, so in here kasi, so if I indicated 1 by 4, I have one row in plot, but 4 columns in it. So the reason why I put it 2 by 2, para I have at least 2 rows, and at the same time, 2 columns, para doon ko sila i-place. So yung 1, 2, 3, 4 represents the entry. So yung position. Okay, yung 2, 2, 1, nandyan yung x sa function of time. Yung y, t, nandyan as in number 2. So, second entry. And then yung butterfly na in parametric is placed. So, it is placed in the third entry. And yung polar natin is placed in the fourth. Okay? So, thank you guys. So, any questions so far, guys? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions po?
Good sir.
So, wala.
Wala pa po, sir.
Okay. So, konting reminders tayo, Our exam will be next week. So, I'll be posting the exam in PDF. Yeah, in PDF. I'll be posting the exam in PDF. And this is an open resource, so open notes and all. Pwede kayong makipag-communicate, pwede kayong gumamit ng internet, lahat na. Use all of the resources that you need because this is an application type exam. Hindi ito yung mga multiple choice identification, true or false. Application type tayo. So I'll be giving a problem. I'll be giving one problem. And then you are going to comply with the requirements in it. So yung pag-compute, yung pag-plot, yung pag-configure ng plot, and so on. Okay? So that would be next week. Okay, so for those of you na hindi makakapag-comply by next week, siguro pag-isipan ko kung what's in store for those who will be unable to make their assessments by next week. But regarding my exam, this is purely online. as much as possible, I discourage face-to-face assessment kasi um, baka kung ano na ang ano, baka magiging backfire yan sa amin pag kayo pa ang nagkaroon ng naging positive pa kayo. Papasara ang school niyan. Kaya as much as possible at ano muna tayo, online muna tayo. Right? So kung wala ng question, I'll be just posting the material over our Google Classroom. So yung PowerPoint and then and if wala na ng questions, lunchtime, thank you guys for coming. Attendance ko. Thank you guys for coming.
Yes, sir.
So thank you guys for coming. Ingat ka mo. Have a lunchtime. Happy lunchtime.
Bye, sir. At yan na lang po.
Sige. Okay. Mamaya na lang. Okay, bye then. Ingat. God damn it. Okay. Engineer Plaso, Kaiser,
Po, sir.
mapabilin lang sana ako kasi yung recording magsisave kay Engineer Cueva. Mapabilin sana ako kung pwedeng i-send niya sa akin yung link
Yung link po ng...
nung recording kasi magsisave to dun sa kanya. Wait lang. Naka-record pa to eh.
Sige